Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Wendy here. So today I'm going to do a book review on a book that I read quite a few years ago, but it is one of my all-time favorite books. I love this book. I know I say that about every book, just about, but this book is very special to me for many reasons. So I'm just going to get right into it and tell you what book it is. This book is called What Zizi Gave Honey Boy. I mean, just look at the cover. You can tell it's going to be a great book. I forgot where I got this book, actually. I don't even remember where I got it, but maybe in like a thrift store. I don't know. But anyway, it's not important. What's important is that I got this book. My husband read it, and I read it many, many times. And I just found it the other day, and I read it again. So it's one of those books where you can definitely read it and reread it through the years and love it just as much as you did the first time you picked it up. So this book is about Zizi, and Zizi is an 83-year-old woman who lives alone in Yonkers. And her nephew comes to see her like every week, sometimes twice a week. His name is Gerald, or Jerry, she calls him. And they play Scrabble together, and she cooks for him. That's like the biggest thing. She cooks for him, and she sends him home with these great care packages of food that he can have for like the whole week. She just, cooks a lot of food for him, and she always warms his food up in the microwave when he comes to see her. And it's always, made with so much love. She makes him classic Italian dishes, meatballs, pasta, and this is her way of showing how much she loves him. As with many grandmothers, I think we spoke about this in the last video. And excuse me, guys, I'm just gonna grab some of my licorice tea here. I have a little bit of a scratchy throat from allergies, so I'm loading up on the licorice tea and my elderberry syrup and lozenges. Just a little tip in case you have the same problem. Anyway, so she cooks for him. They play Scrabble, and she so looks forward to him coming, every week to see her. He is like the light of her life. She has other children that live nearby, but they don't come as often as he does because they have children and different lives than he does. He's married, Gerald, her nephew, but he went through a really bad divorce, which Zizi had a big part in helping him, get through. And so he also tries to help her a little bit financially if he can, because things are very tough for her. She is a widow, and her husband really didn't leave her anything. And she also has a lot of health issues. And it's hard for her to stand for a very long time. So, every time he's there, he will try to help her, and she'll tell him, no, sit down, I'll do it. She wants to serve him and the whole bit. So it's just a very heartwarming, beautiful story about an aunt's love for her nephew. That's the bottom line. It's a book about love. If I had to tell you the bottom line, that's what it's about. And so this book, I did highlight a few areas of it that I wanted to let you guys know about. So Zizi talks about that getting old is no fun a few times in this book, and she writes these little poems that she saves and she reads to her nephew. And this one says, golden years can bring tears. I look in the mirror, and what do I see? A sad old lady staring at me, with skin so wrinkled and my hair so gray. I can't believe I've become this way. So she, she will say many times through the book, comment on her age and, how she used to be so pretty when she was younger. And there are a couple of pictures, family pictures in this book. One of Zizi when she was a young girl, and she tells him wonderful stories about, how she grew up and what her family was like, and how the family dynamic today has broken down and is not like it used to be. But she also tells him that that did happen back when she was a young girl. That it's common through the generations that things like that happen. But in her day, they really tried to work things out because they loved each other and saw the importance of family, which today is not such a common thing. I mentioned in my other video, my last video about my grandmother, which, uh, was just a bright light in my life. She so um, influenced my life with a lot of different things. My love of food. I didn't realize it growing up how, and I think I mentioned this before, how fortunate I was to have her live with us her whole life. Her cooking alone was absolutely incredible. She was born, her parents were born in Russia. They had a bakery, so they were Russian Jews. And they had a wonderful bakery that I heard about since I was little. My mom remembers going over there, and she said before you even open the door, you would smell her cooking matzo ball soup and homemade challah bread. And she used to go to the open air markets at her chickens, and it sounds so wonderful. Like I wish that I was born then. I probably would have been there like every day to see her. She had an apartment, and my mom said it was old, but she never wanted to move, and she used to sit by her front window, and everybody knew her name and would say hello to her. And her name was Rebecca. They called her Becky. And my grandmother, whose name was Sonia, or Sarah, they called her. They all had biblical names, her brothers and herself. She had a sister, my grandmother, who died before her. But my grandmother lived to almost 98. She was 5 months shy of her 98th birthday, and she died a very peaceful, in my opinion, beautiful way to die in her sleep. She was in a nursing home. She had slight dementia, but she died of natural causes, which is incredible. Knock wood. I hope that I'm as fortunate as well. This very much reminds me of my grandmother, because my grandmother cooked these meals. She cooked not only, you know, Yiddish meals, but she knew how to cook Greek. She made, oh my God, shepherd's pie, matzo ball soup. She made stuffed cabbage. It was incredible. And she used to make these wonderful watermelon baskets with she used to carve them by hand herself, the handle, and fill them with watermelon balls and strawberries and blueberries. And I used to watch her, just watch her, like being like, how did you do that? She was like the Edward Scissorhands of grandmothers, because it was like nothing to her. And she would make little radishes, rose radishes, and she just took such care and love in her. That was her way of really showing us how much, that she loved us. Food is love, I believe. So to have those traditions passed down is a gift that I think is just because it's pure love passed on from one generation to the other. And I've had my mom doesn't cook like she used to, uh, she's had some health issues for the last on and off, but knock wood again, she's holding steady. She's very tough, and she gets that from my grandmother, and I feel I get that, and I think it's been passed down to my daughter too, because she's a pretty tough cookie herself. So Anyway, I know I'm going off on a tangent. Every time I talk about my grandmother, I can't help it. But because this book reminded me so much of that generation and the love with the cooking, I did thought it was just wonderful. Um, Here, and so she talks about, how they used to get together in her family, the dinners and the holidays and such. So she says here, sometime in the late afternoon after the main course, all the kids would take off, usually outside, to play. Some of the men would take a nap and others would play pinochle. The women would be busy straightening up the table, washing the dishes, and congregating in the kitchen. About 2 hours later, on cue and without notice, everyone would start to migrate back to the places at the table for dessert. That, in and of itself, was another feast. Depending on the holiday, there are always a wide variety of homemade baked seasonal specialties and an assortment of Italian pastries that each family bought from their favorite neighborhood pastry shop. It was a never ending table full of pastries, chocolates, pies, cookies, cakes, and nuts that was finally topped off with strong espresso coffee laced with anisette. Again, typical of the culture. And uh, my grandfather, my father's father, lived to be 94, and he lived with us on and off through the years, and he loved anisette. And around Thanksgiving, it was the fruit with the anisette in your coffee and the nuts. And um, he was an unbelievable gardener. I have never met somebody with a green thumb like him. To say he had a green thumb was an understatement. He just, that was his love, and he was tremendous. And again, I was so fortunate to be able to have the fruits of his labor, because he would bring in like armfuls of zucchinis and tomatoes, and my mother would always like yell at him a little and say, "You're dragging mud in the house," and he'd be like, "Oh." It was just such a funny thing they had going between them, because you always knew when he came in. My mother would be at the sink or something, and she'd be like, "My floor." But it was just, to bring back those times again, I would give anything. But but Gerald in this book so loves his aunt, and his mom, his Aunt Zizi's sister, died. So she was very much a mother to him, through the years as well, and helped him with his divorce, and always is so encouraging, just like he's her son, encouraging to him. And it's funny because in the book they debate a little bit. They'll talk about the state of the world and everything, and what's going on, and she'll give her opinions. She had very solid opinions about what she thought and how much the world had changed since she was younger. And Gerald would kid her, nudge her a little bit, to egg her on, because he wanted to get her fired up a little bit, because she was just so opinionated. What she knew, and she had a very strong, belief system, and very strong morals. And she talks about that in the book. She talks about her family, and she has a few health scares in the book, that she, thought she wasn't going to make it, and neither did he. And I don't want to spoil the book for you, because I think after this video, watch the video first. You should find this book. I don't know, maybe on Amazon. Find this book and get it. I highlighted another part of the book as well. Uh, just to give you a sense of what this book is about. Um, right here. So we talk about, she talks about families breaking down and not being what they were, and holding grudges, and how it's not worth it, and how, families should love each other. And we all know that, things happen in families. A lot of times when the matriarch or the patriarch of the family passes away, these things start to happen in the family. Like it breaks down. On a personal note, that kind of happened to my family when my father died, and I have three brothers. I'm the only girl. I'm the youngest, So we've had our challenges through the years. We always try to, last couple of years, we've tried to at least, speak with each other and kind of keep in touch as best we can. Also, because my mom has had health issues, that's kind of sort of brought us, um, back to speaking more, which it's a shame that something like that has to happen, but many times that is the case. She talks about that here. She says, it is said that when a mother dies, the family often dies with her. With mom gone, our big house that had been filled with so much life and so many people for so many years quickly became cold and empty. Dad either lacked the energy or didn't have what it took to keep the spirit alive. My mother proved to be the glue that held us all together, and no one could or tried to fill her shoes. I love that because I think that is so true. Again, a mom is like, I'm sorry, guys, these glasses are always dirty. I feel like I just can't see that great out of them. These are readers, by the way. I mean, I don't, I have a prescription, but the eye doctor said readers are fine, and I have them all over the house because I feel like I'm always putting them down and I can't find them again. I am getting older, but it's ridiculous. Um, but these, like, I always tease my husband and I say, I'm gonna really look like a little old lady because I'm gonna have the chain around my neck and because I always cannot find them. No offense to anybody who's wearing that. It's just that I feel like I should have that now. Anyway, so I love that part that says that, that the mother is like the heart of the home because she is the heart of the home. I mean, oh my goodness, it's like, I mean, my mother, when I was little and today too, of course, was always my world. I mean, she was my mom. I remember her um walking me. I we lived in walking distance from, you know uh, we lived in walking distance from my kindergarten, and she used to walk me to kindergarten. I remember the very first day of kindergarten, she walked me to kindergarten. My brother went to the same school, and watching her walk away was traumatizing. Like, to this day, I still remember that. And she walking away, and I smelled her perfume, and I was like, oh, I thought I was going to die. That was it. I was so upset they had to call me down to the principal's office so that my brother, who was in the same school, it was that bad. Like, that was it. I thought I'd never see her again. It was just traumatizing, and I still remember that. Um, so I mean, your mom is your mom, and your dad's your dad. I mean, I don't get me wrong. My father was like everything to me too, but it's something about a mom. She really is the heart of the home. She is, your heart's first home, I believe, and no one can replace her or your dad. So it's just like her saying that really was like that's so this book is just tremendous. I cannot say enough about it. As you can tell, it just sparks, and I'm sure it'll do the same thing to you. It'll spark so many memories of your own family, which is one of the reasons why I loved it. And it reminded me so much of my grandmother when Zizi gave Honey Boy. Honey Boy was her nickname for him, and you know he um, he founded a Trends Institute. That's what he did for a living. So that was one of the things that they would you know do little debates on, the current trends, which is what sparked her to go off on her beliefs about like I said, I can't say enough about this book. Her nephew Gerald really knew what was important in life. Zizi was a humble Italian immigrant, and it's a very uplifting, just homey, feel good book. Um, so that's it, guys. I want to take a moment to thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel. Every time I look, I get more subscribers, and that is awesome. Thank you so much. I so appreciate it. I'm so glad that you seem to like these videos. And like I said, you know, let me know if there's a video you'd like to see. Let me know if you read this book, because I love this book. Love it. And let me know what you thought about it. Or let me know if you have some grandma stories or grandparents. I love stories about, you know, family members and that are no longer here, that left such a mark in our lives. It's so sad that they're not here anymore, but I think they never leave. I feel my grandmother with me all the time. I know she's like right there with me. So I see her as my guardian angel. So so yeah, thank you so much for hitting the subscribe button. Please do it. Please keep hitting subscribe and like. I promise you, we're gonna have all kinds of different things on this channel, book related, and I want to show you guys before I get off. I picked this little thing up today. I love and fairies and little gnomes, and you know, that's just, I think sometimes that goes along with loving books. I don't know. And comment below if you guys like those things, by the way. But I got this little candle snuffer outer thing today. I thought it was so cute. And I have a lot of candles. And I think this is just awesome. I'd love to just, it reminds me of like the olden days. I love this. Oh, I love this thing. And so I picked up a couple of little fairies here. I don't think you can see them. I'll show them to you a little bit closer. Aren't they adorable? These little fairies that I picked up. I like adding just little accents around the house of things that I love. You know, candles I love, fairies I love, anything to do with books, obviously. That's it, guys. That is a wrap up for today. Like I said, I'd like to do one review at a time or twice a week and throw in, and hopefully you like that. And yeah, please comment. I love reading your comments. Keep hitting that like and subscribe button. And that's it. So again, Mondays and Fridays are when the videos drop. So I will see you again on Friday. And that's it. I'll see you later.